Okay, so this doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be a video, so let's just do it so I can get on with the rest of not doing anything, because I'm in the process of burnout right now, and being in the process of burnout means that I need to relax and not do so much work, so this video cannot take 5 hours to edit. So hi guys, we're going to do a video on burnout because I'm in the process of just recovering from my second burnout after working as an online tutor, and I feel I have a responsibility to explain this because I have been promoting a lifestyle that actually encourages burnout. I've been promoting work 80 hours a week, work as hard as you can, and some of my advice on my previous videos has been to open up your schedule, work all day or night, just to get the students in. And like I said, I've been working as an online tutor for 3 years, and this is my second burnout. I'm just surprised that it caught me. I'm surprised that I didn't notice it earlier. Luckily, I try to catch these things before they get too dangerous, before I get any physical symptoms. So I talked to a lot of people about burnout, and that's exactly why I'm making this video, is to explain to you guys about it so you guys can notice it as well. It's really, really subtle. So first of all, for those of you who don't know what burnout is, which I'm sure we all do, it's it's a feeling of a bit like depression, and it's really difficult to define. That's what keeps getting me every time. I don't notice it. It's the best way I can describe it is when you start hating what you used to love. So I am a teacher. I've been teaching for 10 years. I love teaching. It's it's great. Great to help people. And I also love mathematics. So now I'm teaching mathematics. It's great. And then after a week ago, let's say, I started to feel like you start to notice little things creeping in, like you want to cancel classes, you want to take more time off, you start to resent having to work such long hours, getting up in the morning. I'm starting to miss my family and not spending so much time with my family. It's really starting to affect me. I start to think I should be doing other things, or maybe I should be changing my job. Maybe I should be moving on to another thing. That's the big one, right? So I posted a question onto the Preply forum, onto Facebook forum, and I got an amazing response. I got lots of people, a very intense response, and I spent the next couple of hours replying to everybody. So this is kind of part of the process for me to get better, and then also to avoid getting sick again in the future, to avoid burning myself out again in the future. I have to keep reminding myself about what it is. So I posted onto the Preply forum, and I got a lot of responses. I got a lot of responses of people who have previously dealt with burnout, and this is also the case. I've talked to a lot of professionals in my life, and I asked them. Normally people are about 10 or 15 years older than me, and they've been through burnout, normally around the ages of 30. People tend to push themselves very, very hard around that kind of age, and they end up working long hours and not sleeping very much, and well, that's exactly what I have been doing for the last 2 or 3 years. So for example, one person said, it's so true, I worked crazy hours when I was in the corporate world. It's not worth it. Your health suffers, and if truth be told, nobody really cares. Another one said, I had a huge burnout last year. I had 10 students, but some of them took 2 or 3 times a week, and I had to get up early and stay awake for later. Now I take less students and when it suits me. Otherwise, this work can abuse you if you cannot handle time management problems. So this is what this video is really about, is time management and how to overcome it and keep going. I asked these people, what happened? What did you notice? What were the physical symptoms? And they said they're quite drastic. One person said, I passed out one morning around 2 a.m. when I went to get something to drink. My sister found me on the floor, took me to hospital. And a long story short, that I had a bleeding ulcer, high blood sugar, and spent a week in hospital and lots of medical bills later. It was just not worth it. Now I'm teaching less and there's less stress. I'm loving it. I make sure I don't pack students in back to back, and I'm not interested in being number one at anything. So this is what I do, is I pack my students in back to back, and I was trying to get to number one, and I have. I'm now number one on the maths section of Preply. I'm the number one tutor who's done the most classes in the maths section, and that was a big goal. I set myself, and I pushed and pushed and pushed in order to achieve that. And now that I've got there, I don't know what to do. I got no more goals. So this is probably why I've now crashed. So now I'm trying to develop a new technique that helps me to manage my time a little bit better. I asked another one what were the symptoms, and they said, I noticed physical side effects like headaches. I felt dizzy every time I had a class and no energy at all, even after just 1 hour of work. In order to get better, I just devoted more time to myself and cancelled some classes when I didn't have to teach. That's normal. We're all human. So in the post, I found a lot of people actually saying, yes, I'm having a burnout right this moment. And now that you mention it, I do see those symptoms. And so these people, I was looking to help them. So I sent them a few comments. One person said, I'm nearing the edge. Between funerals, rescheduling lessons, and actual lessons, I'm at the end of my tether. Another one said, I'm having one at the moment. I've got 7 new students this week, and I'm currently have some students that take 3 or 4 classes a week. Every day there's 3 or 4 lessons that are back to back, so I start at 10 and end at 9. Also, Preply started hiding my profile, which is upsetting because my language only has 70 tutors to begin with. Another one said, yes, mornings I work in a primary school, I was giving extra classes for the kindergarten, and I was teaching English, around 80 students. I was also working on Preply teaching Spanish about 10 hours a week. I was working at a language school teaching English and Chinese here. I had about 6 hours a week plus demo classes. I was taking Pole, Slovak, Chinese classes once a week. I was also studying for the TKT and doing my bachelor's degree. I got a severe allergic reaction, and after that I started having panic attacks for a week. My whole left arm was numb and I was really stressed all the time. I had to quit the language school, start better working times, and as I was working every day for 3 months and schedule some me time. Another one said, I burnt out in March. And I'm still struggling. There were many factors involved, not just teaching, but teaching was one of the major ones. Although I enjoy it, it's also a pretty stressful job. It's come to the point where I am better, I start teaching again and burn out again. I have 2 daughters, a lot of duties, chores and other engagements, so I guess it all makes sense. My body is telling me to slow down or else. Take it easy guys and think about your health first. I mean, yeah, I have 3 kids and there's a lot of pressure on me, I feel, in order to work hard, in order to provide for them. Okay, and one person really put it into words that I think really nailed down the point of what burnout is and why we do it to ourselves. They said, I went out for coffee and saw another person for the first time since I started working, that is. I just do not have time for anyone or anything. I live in the same house as my kids and I see them 3 hours a day, an hour at lunch and just before bed. It's crazy, but yet I feel so blessed to be working and doing well when so many others are in a state of this world is suffering, and I do not dare to complain or say no to anyone. I feel so guilty if I do. And this is what I'm talking about. I feel guilty if I refuse work or if I say no to work. A lot of people praise me for how much work we're getting and how the family are doing well. And I feel bad that if I start reducing the amount of hours I'm working, I'll be doing bad things to the family. So there's a lot of weird, kind of like difficult to put your finger on pressures going on in all directions. So now let's talk about some solutions. A lot of people shared their solutions. I asked them, like, how did you get out of this? What did you do to get better? I used to teach and have more flexible time. It's hard to ignore parents' requests, especially if you have been attached to a child and you're grateful for them. Anyway, taking a break might help you. I believe your students will understand as they need to take a break sometimes as well. And this is one thing I've really found is that these people are humans we're working with, and asking them for a bit of help now and then to see, so they can see you as a human, so you can take a break, is actually just fine. You can work as much as you want. I used to be like you, working day and night until I found out that I spend the whole day just teaching. It's not worth it. Try to reduce your availability and work 5 or 6 hours maximum. Give yourself 1 or 2 free days a week as well. You deserve it and you need mental clarity. Be the boss of yourself. And I agree. It's good. Someone else said, I'm having one at the moment. I've been feeling pretty bad recently. My body is starting to react to stress. I have a plan for September when my days will be overwhelming again. Setting a time limit I won't break for anyone will be my first step. Thank you guys for sharing all your experiences. Makes me feel less lonely on this. I love my job. I run a small online school and I have just a couple of students on Preply, but the stress is exactly the same. But there must be a limit, which is loving ourselves more. So now here's my plan for the future. I have been working very hard to get to where I am. I have been in a period of growth for the last 2 years or 3 years, pushing hard to get to the top of the pile. And now that I'm up there, on top of this pile of Preply tutors, I plan to just maintain this level by cutting down the number of hours I'm working a more reasonable day. I hope that I'm going to stick to that. I plan to do this for at least, I don't know, say 4 months or 5 months. And I have to remember that I don't mind if other people pass me. I don't mind if other people can work more hours than I can and get more classes. I'm getting a lot of students. I don't need to be number one. I just want to be up there. So here's my plan: is I'm going to work. I've worked very hard. This is like a sprint. It's like running so fast to get ahead of the pack. Now I'm up there. I just plan to maintain this level. I need to maintain this level for a period of time in order to let myself recover. So this would be like sustaining. And then in the future, once I've rested, I might be able to do another sprint to get ahead again. So even if people pass me, I can relax and say it's okay, because in 3 months or 4 months, I'm going to push hard again to get back to the top again. And it won't be so hard the second time to get up there. And I can actually get myself ahead. Now what I'm doing is I'm researching about how long distance runners and athletes maintain that kind of pace and are successful in their races. So maybe I can apply the same thing to my work life. If you're feeling really burnt out, then I would suggest that one of the things that helped me most the last time and this time is having a support group. It's talking to a few people in your family that you can just unload onto and just get some feedback. The problem with burning out is that you're not talking to people. You become isolated, you just focus on the work, you're just doing more work, and you really stop talking to people. So I talk to people in my family. I talk to my wife, I talk to my dad, I talk to my mum and my brother, and I go through each person and I try to speak to each one for about an hour just to let them know what's going on. And after doing that for a while, after I got to about 4 people, I kind of noticed what's going on. I'm like, oh, I'm saying the same things, or I can kind of see the pattern and I can spot it as burnout. And it's really difficult to do that if you're isolated. Another thing I really suggest doing is getting some sleep. When I'm normally working, I'm working all day, I'm sleeping 6 hours a day, and I'm in a constant state of sleep deprivation, which is fine. I can do that for years, and I just keep telling myself that. But the problem is, it catches up to you. So now I'm trying to sleep 10 hours a day, which feels really, really difficult to do. It feels really bad, actually, because I got so much work I should be doing, and this is the problem. So I try to sleep 8 hours at night, and then maybe I get another 2 hours during the day. And I'm just trying to claw back all that time I just didn't get the sleep before. Okay, I think that's about it. If you have any comments, please let me know. If you're feeling stressed out or you're feeling burnt out, let me know in the comments below and we'll try to work out some solutions to it. Thanks very much.